Hi everybody, welcome to the weekly challenge bike stores available inventory challenge solution video. So in this challenge we dive a little bit deep into first creating views, but second really nested just nested queries and joins, and paired with some aggregation. So ultimately, the goal of this challenge is to produce a table that shows the available inventory that exists in each store. And you might think, well, that already exists within the stocks table, but the stocks table in the productions schema contains data on the current inventory level that exists within each store, but we want to see the current inventory level excluding all inventory that essentially has been sold. So any inventory that has been sold but not shipped, we're kind of classifying that as unavailable inventory because it's been sold. And then so ultimately what we're doing is we're subtracting what has been sold from what is in the stocks table, and then making that into a table. So let's dive into the query. So here's the select query that you use to create the view. But first, the method of doing this is to first create a select statement, which is this. So let's copy that into it. Create a select statement that contains the store ID, the product ID, and the quantity sold of all inventory that has been sold but not shipped. Because once it's shipped, it pulls out of the stock table. So the stock table reflects all inventory that exists in the store, including inventory that has been sold but not shipped. And so here is, so we in store 1 of product 2 we sold 1. And so basically we're going to go into the stock table and say, all right, so in store 1 product ID 2, we have X number in the store minus 1, which is our quantity available. And so this query, it says select these from these tables, the sales order items and sales orders, where the ship date is null. So it hasn't been shipped, and we're grouping by these two items. Okay. All right, let's jump back over to this select. So ultimately, we're going to be joining that to these production tables. And we're using a left join there because not every item in the stocks table has had, we don't know that every item in the stocks table has had a sale. And so if we were just to use a regular join, then it would only include items that a sale had been made. But we want to see all available items, and so we're going to use a left join here. And we're joining on both store ID and product ID to these tables. And so first we're going to select store ID, store name, product ID, product name. Neither of these are really necessary to identify because we could just, join the view. But to make it easier, we're just going to include those there. Then we're taking the quantity that is in the stocked minus what we calculated as the quantity sold. And we need to use the function is null. And if it's null, we say 0. And that is because there were some products that were not in this initial query as being sold but not shipped. And so if they come up as null, then this entire function is null. And so we have to replace the nulls with 0. So if it is null, it's just going to subtract 0, and so it's basically just going to reflect the quantity that was in the stocks table. And that is equal to quantity available, right? So that ultimately creates our query that we throw into the select or the create statement. And so we're going to create this view. I have drop view at the top just because I already have it created. So, and then let's go to bike stores. So let's run it. And so that will create our view, production available inventory, with this query. All right, and that is the solution. I hope y'all enjoyed this challenge, and I'm looking forward to the next challenge in the bike stores series. Thanks.